This is the second part of the quadratic formula. Yesterday, we went over how you can use quadratic formula to find solutions or roots or answers. Today, what we're doing is we're using part of the quadratic formula to figure out how many answers you'll have. And it's called the discriminant. So these are much faster because it's not the whole equation. We're just doing the inside of the square root. The inside of the square root is called the discriminant. And I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, I don't think the problems you get specifically say to use the discriminant. I'm pretty positive that you'll just be asked how many real roots there are. And if that's the case, whenever you're asked how many real roots, it means to look at the inside of the square root. You could do the whole quadratic formula if you wanted to, you just don't need to. And I'll wait to scroll down a little bit. I've got a picture underneath. It looks like the pink barely shows up. Hi.
Hi.
What the heck is that?
It's a poster.
It's a poster for me?
No.
Oh, that's not as fun, then. Thank you.
Yep.
Braden Peterson. Trying to find you in the picture. Oh, I found you. You're in the middle. Yeah, apparently from last year.
Oh, yeah.
That's a little behind. I'm not even sure how I don't know how you're supposed to get it home in a backpack or anything either. Do you have somewhere you can put it during the day where it won't get bent up or anything?
Yeah.
Okay, otherwise I might have a rubber band if you want to rubber band it in a roll. What? Did you put it in your backpack?
In the water bottle.
Oh, that's a good idea. All right, smarter than me. Which, I mean, well, that's not saying a lot. Does anybody need the top part of the notes still? About the discriminant? Okay, I'll leave it up there. The bottom part's not, I mean, like it's no hurry to write the bottom part. I'll wait till the top part's done. I mean, other than the hockey tournament, is there like a lot of people sick?
Yeah.
Mm. Fun. All right, great. Maybe we'll just try to set a record for how many different types of illnesses we can have in a year. You can just stay there. You can just sit there or something. Hi. How's it going? Good. Did you check in through the office?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't even look at it. I just didn't know if I needed to change your attendance. He doesn't want to say now. He's on recording, so his answer is being recorded. Can I scroll down now? Excellent. Okay. So the purpose of looking at the inside of the square root is just to figure out how many answers you're going to have. And it sounded like a lot of you kind of figured this out already yesterday. I mean, you understand that if you get a negative square root, they're imaginary answers. Well, this one's looking at it from a different perspective. There isn't anything wrong with saying imaginary answers, but if you're trying to say how many real answers there are, imaginary means you have 0 real answers. And then a normal square root would give you 2 real answers because there's a plus and minus. I don't think we've had one yet where the square root has been 0. Is that correct? I'm pretty positive there was not in yesterday's homework. And I don't think we've done one in the notes yet. So if the square root comes out to be 0, well, you end up having plus or minus 0, which doesn't make, you end up with the same answer, right? So there's only one actual answer if your square root is 0. So it makes sense, it's just kind of strange. And it doesn't happen that often. But this is kind of what the pictures would look like. So if you have two answers like normal, that's because your parabola crossed twice. And this is what we did in 5.2 when we were graphing them in Desmos. You guys were supposed to look for x-intercepts. This is exactly the same as that, except you don't need to look at a picture to know what it's going to be set up like. I'm just drawing a picture here so that you can kind of connect the two things. One solution means that it sits right on the x-axis. Technically, there are two answers, but they're the same answer as each other, so they just consider it one answer. And then imaginary answers means your parabola never touches the x-axis. Other than Luke, does anybody need these notes up here yet? Okay, and I do have them in Schoology too if you want to like save a space for it or something. Okay, so then let's do a problem together. And we get to use the fun colors today because we've got a black background. We'll go with the neon colors. Anybody have a preference?
Green.
Neon green. All right, that's a good solid choice. Where'd my pen go? Oh, shoot. There we go. Oh, it reset my colors from last hour. This is pretty neon green. We'll go with that. Is that? Sure. That looks good. How do we get rid of that? Okay, there we go. Should I roll? Should I just call on somebody? What? Sure. Braden is gone. I was wondering if we were going to run into that today. 5. Ella. Ella's here. Any thoughts on how to start this one? Or do you want me to kind of set you up first?
Don't you just add 7 to the left side so that you get 0?
Perfect. That's exactly what I was going to try to lead you with if you needed it. When we try to solve quadratic equations, especially if we're trying to figure out a, b, and c, it has to be equal to 0 to do a, b, and c. So plus 7 to both sides. It doesn't matter the order you write them, because last hour that kind of came up. The order you write these answers doesn't matter at all. What matters is that you're able to figure out a, b, and c correctly. Okay, I heard you roll.
12.
Jack. Jack, let's start with what color do we want?
Orange.
Oh, that's actually a good color. I don't know if we have a bright orange. I don't know if I'm good enough to find bright orange.
That's bright orange.
Does it come up bright orange on the screen?
Yep, just about.
Let's go with it. The monitor and the screen look pretty different for colors. So, okay, what am I going to ask you next? Or do you want me to kind of help you out?
I'm going to assume you're going to start plugging the numbers into the equation.
Into what equation?
B squared minus 4ac.
Nice, very nice. So we are only looking at the discriminant to figure out how many real solutions there are. Now, what you're saying was absolutely perfect. The downside to what you said was we didn't figure out what A, B, and C were. But what you said is good, so that order doesn't really matter.
3.
3. Oma, any color you like?
Blue.
Blue. That's not a color. There we go. There was oh, here it is. Ice. Get rid of that. How do we get rid of that? Hey, why isn't it clicking? There we go. We have ice. That's a good color. What's A, B, and C?
A is 1, B is -6, and C is 7.
Okay, and then just to verify, double check, are you reading them just the order I wrote them, or like how do you know which one B is?
Because 6 is x -6.
Nice, very good, very good. I just want to double check. I was pretty sure you knew it because you read them off right away. B is always the number on the x. A is always the number on the x squared. C is always the number by itself. So if you decide to write these in a different order, or if you get a problem where they're rearranged, there's nothing wrong with it being out of order. You just have to identify them correctly. Okay, good. So then what? So we've got -6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 7. So I've got 36 minus 28. Let me scroll down. 8. Uh-oh, on the loose. It's rolling fast.
16.
16. That's cool. You were lucky enough to have your little bingo ball flying around the room and being chosen. Anything you could tell me about that 8 that I just figured out? What does that tell us? Do you have the previous slide written down? Okay, so the previous slide said b squared minus 4ac. One of them said greater than 0, one of them said equal to 0, one of them said less than 0. How does 8 fit into that? Okay, so greater than 0. What does that tell us in terms of answers? You're actually thinking too difficult. Go back to that previous slide. What does it say on the column that is greater than 0? Because you just identified that perfect. 2 real solutions. So that's all you have to answer. You don't actually have to answer anything about the number specifically. So 2 real solutions. Good, good, good.
That's it for the problem.
That's all you're doing on these. So most of the problems you get today, not all of them, there are some problems that are mixed from yesterday. Most of the problems today will say, how many real solutions are there? And then you would answer 0, 1, or 2. And this is kind of how you do that. And, you know, you're allowed to do some of this in your head and all that. I just wanted to write out everything. Well, why don't I put one more up to see if you guys can just do it on your own. The whole part. Did you pre-roll somebody?
Oh,
Oh, that's all right. I thought I'd give him a little advance notice. Owen, you could call down all the time from the roller.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if you need more time. I figured if nothing, I would give you a little advance notice if you wanted it.
I know.
Okay. Any particular color? Because these are important decisions.
Yellow.
Okay. Well, that's not really neon. Let's go for... Okay. I guess I'm not sure if I'm going to find a neon yellow.
Just go to yellow. It's the color that you use for the actual problem in the slideshow presentation thing. The chapter, the notes. Struggling for the words here.
I didn't think I used yellow.
Yeah, for example 1 you did.
yeah, like, when you posted it.
Okay.
When do you have English class? You can ask your English teacher.
Oh, you're taking the ones that are in Schoology?
Yeah.
Oh, that was 2 years ago.
Oh.
I don't remember what.
Okay.
Okay, I feel better because I didn't remember anything about a yellow. Okay, well, I got a yellow. Let's just try it out.
Well, yellow. So you want a minus 6x, so it turns into x squared, x squared.
I'm going to write it out of order on purpose because I know some of you might. What you were saying was correct, though.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it on purpose.
You want me to keep going?
Do you want to keep going?
Sure.
Okay, then go for it.
Then you want to do the b squared, so that's going to be negative 6 squared.
So I think you identified the numbers kind of in your head as most likely what you did.
Yep.
I'll write them down for anybody that needs to see it. But what you're saying is correct. Okay, so b squared minus 4ac is the discriminant. Okay, what does that come out to be?
That will come out to be negative 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 11, 36 minus 44, which equals negative 8.
Okay. Somebody else?
I can-
Okay, you can finish it if you want.
And then since it's less than 0, it's 0 solutions. 0 real solutions.
Good, good, good. Yeah, we know that they're going to be imaginary, but that's actually not even what they're asking. So we would say 0 real solutions. Go for it, Daniel.
So if it asks for like the whole table, like you have to find out like what the solutions are, you know, like the whole equation, would we have to put imaginary?
Yep. So if it asks you, you'll be specifically asked how many real solutions. So in that case, you would know to answer 0, 1, or 2. If it asks you to find the solutions, then that's the whole quadratic formula. And then imaginary applies. Good, very good. That's actually honestly it for the rest of the section. There is one more example there if you really wanted to try one on your own or if you wanted to look it up in Schoology. But I thought I would try to give you some time to work today. This way I can help you guys with it if you need it. And it's very possible you could be done before you leave. And then, you could go visit the different sporting activities. And there's been a whole bunch this week.